Hello everyone, welcome to our Python programming course. My name is Harit CK and I will be your instructor for this course. Whether you have never written a single code or you are just starting your programming journey, don't worry, we will start from the basic itself. Okay? So I will guarantee one thing that by the end of this course, you will be able to write your own Python program and understand Python program concept very confidently. Today class is all about getting starting with Python. So let's start with what is programming. Let's understand programming. Okay, imagine your mother asks you to make a tea. So she will give some instruction, right? First she will tell to take water, boil it, add tea powder, add sugar and add milk. You follow these instructions one by one. So programming is also exactly the same. A computer cannot think by itself. It follows some instructions given by humans. Those instructions are called programming. The process of writing these instructions is called programming. Okay, so can anyone give another life example of following instructions? So you can comment down in the post. Okay, so now we can come to what is Python. Okay, Python is a programming language. Just like English, a language for humans, Python is a language for communicating with computers. So you know who created the programming? Python was created by Judo van Rossum and released in 1991. Today, it is one of the most popular programming languages in the world because it is a simple and easy to learn. So I will ask one question. Has anyone heard the name Python before today? Any answer? You can comment down in the post. So there are hundreds of programming languages. So why we learn Python? I will answer you. Did anyone know the answer? You don't need to write a lot of complicated code in Python. And you know where all the Python is used. It is used in artificial intelligence, machine learning, data science, web development, cybersecurity, and automation. So most of the companies use Python. Many famous companies use Python. For example, Google, Netflix, Instagram, Spotify, NASA, Dropbox. This shows that Python is not only for students but it is also used in real companies to build real products. So now we can write our first programming line. Okay, first I will type print hello, print hello world. Okay, so now we can try to run the code. Yeah, it's coming in the output hello world. So this is our first Python programming code. So this is our first Python program. The word print is a built-in Python function. Okay, the word print is a built-in Python function. Its main job is to display information on the screen. Okay, and everything inside the quotation mark is called string. If we write anything inside the quotation mark, it is called as string. Okay, so now we can see print hello world. It's coming on the output. So I will ask you one more question. What do you think it will happen if I change hello world to good morning? Okay, now we can try that. Okay, so that you guys will be trying it on the homework. Okay guys. Okay, now we can try another example. Okay, now I will try another example. So guys, we have tried another example, print welcome, print 100, print 50 plus 25. Okay, so we can see the output welcome 175. So Python can print the text as it's shown like now this. It can also print numbers. It can even perform calculation automatically and run the program. Okay, so now have we have seen the another type of a problem. So you guys can practice more problems with your sources. Okay, so now we will go into the another section named as comments. Okay, I will teach you. So we have tried another print hello. You can see that green line now, hello. The green line is called a comment. Python ignores comment. Comments are written only for humans. Okay, so the comments are written only for humans and they can help to explain the code. Okay, now we can study the part of variables. Okay, imagine if you have a box, you put your mobile inside it. Now the box stores the mobile phone. A variable works in the exactly the same way. It stores data. Okay, now I will show an example of that. Okay, name John, age 20, print age. Oh, there's a small mistake. Okay, I correct it. Yeah, we get the correct output. Name John, age 20, print name, print age. So if with this line we are getting the comment John 20. So I understand that you didn't understand anything about what I say now. So I will explain line by line. Okay. Name is equal to John. Okay. Name John, age 20, print name. Name, print name. Age, print age. So what do you print that will come as John and 20? The name and age is a variable. Okay. Now I will explain some variable rules so you can understand more about it. Okay. A variable name cannot start with a number. It cannot contain spaces, cannot use special symbols except underscore. Should have meaningful names. Okay, so I understand you have learned about variables. So we can move to data types. Okay, I will teach you data types with an example. I mean, there are different of data type. I mean, integer, float, string, boolean. For integer, you know what is integer. It is like 2, 3, 4. I mean, numbers. Those numbers we use as integers. And there is one more thing, float. It's for decimal numbers. I mean, 5.5, 6.5. For all this, it's float. And I explain you that if you write in any quotation, it is and inside the quotation it is called string, and if the statement is true we call it as a boolean. I will show you with an example. Okay, Yeah, we can see the code execution successful. Age is equal to 20. What you call 20 means integer. Height is equal to 5.8. 5.8 means float. Name is equal to John. It is inside the quotes, so it will be called as a variable. So student means it is true. So true. So now we can study the type function. So as of now, we know that the Python has different data types like integers, float, strings, and booleans. But what if you don't know the type of a value? Python give us a function called type. The type function tell us what type of data a value is. Okay. So with an example, we can study the problem. So we get the answer. You can check the answer from the output. I mean, first you can see the fourth line. The first number is 20. Okay. So what we call 20, it is an integer. So the answer become integer. And the next line, 5.8. We know that 5.8 is a float. So we can see that class float. Next, hello. Hello is inside the string. So it is called as a class string. And next is when we get the true, we will get the answer as boolean. Okay, class boolean. Okay. Now, okay. Now I will ask you one question. You can comment the answer on the comment box. What do you think will be the output of type false? Okay, you can comment the answer in the comment box. Okay. Now we go to the next part, user input. So far we have been giving value ourselves. But what if we want to user to enter their own name or age? For what we use the input function. Okay. Now I will teach you that with an example. Okay. So let me clear the output also. So watch carefully what I am typing. So we can see we can type the output. It is the advantage of this. So what we can type? Okay, we can type my name itself, right? Okay. So I am typing my name itself. Yeah, we can see code execution successful. Harith. Okay. Now you learned this also. Okay. It's a great achievement. Let's congratulate yourself. Okay. Now we are going to. Now I will explain once again, so you will be good enough to understand. Okay. You can see this input, enter your name. That input wait for the user to type something. Whatever the user types is stored in the variable name. Okay. Whatever the user types is stored in the variable name itself. So I will explain the second line. Print name. Print name means this prints the value stored in the name. Okay. So I will ask you one question. What happen if I type Harit instead of Danush? Okay, what will it came? It prints Danush. Okay, so I will let come to the next topic. I will teach you about integer input. Okay. Okay, so let me clear this. Before going to the integer input, I will tell you one more thing. There is one more important thing about input. By default, whatever the user types is treated as text string. Okay. So I will teach you one example of integer input. Carefully look into the laptop. So we can see we can enter our age. We can enter our age. Yeah, we class string the answer come. Okay, the answer is class string. So I'll explain how I get it. Okay, even though we entered a number, Python still treat it as a text. So how do we convert into a real number? We use the integer function. Okay, so now we can learn about student information program. I will teach you one problem. You can type it as a heading, student information program. Okay, so I am going to teaching you. So everyone look carefully so you can understand it very confidentially. So I am going to run this program. So we can check it. So that's it. The output came. Harith age 20. So I will explain this by one. First line takes the user's input. You can see the first line takes the user's. Sorry, we can see that first line takes the user's name, and the second line take the user's age and convert it to an integer. Okay, and the third line displays the name, and the fourth line displays the age. Okay, so this is the output of this. I think you understand it. Okay, so now we can study an additional program. Okay, now that we know how to take input from the users, so let's create our first useful program. Okay, our goal is simple. Ask the user for two numbers, add them together and display the result. Did you understand the question? I will explain once again. Ask the user for two numbers, add them together, display the result. Okay, now we can go to the coding section. Okay, everyone carefully listen so you can understand it very well. I will explain line by line after the execution. Okay, now you just look what I am typing. After the execution, I will explain line by line. Okay. So now I am going to run the program. First we type the first number, then enter the second number, then we are going to add print sum a plus b. So now we can type the first number as I think 2. Yeah, first number as 2. We can see the output and enter the second number. We type the first number as 2, also the second number as 2. So sum will be 4. Okay. I hope you understand. I will teach again one by one. Okay, one by one. I will explain each lines. Okay, we can see the first line. This line asks the user to enter the first number and this input now. So input takes the value from the keyboard. Since input always returns text, we use int to convert it into an integer. Finally, we store that number in the variable a. Okay. So what is the variable of the first line? A. So I will explain the second line. Okay. Everyone watch carefully. This works exactly the same way. The second number is stored in the variable b. So what is the variable in the second line? B. So now I will explain the third line. Here Python adds the value and stored in a and b. Then print, then print. You can see the print. Then print displays the answer. So when we are running the program, we can see the sum. So I will ask one question to confirm that did you understand this problem or not. If I enter 50 and 100, what will be the output? Quick, everyone. So the answer will be 150. Okay. So now I am going to tell you some common errors that every programmer's mistake. Every programmer make mistakes. That's quite natural. But even experienced software engineers get errors every day. The important thing is learning how to understand and fix them. You can work daily basis to fix all of this. Okay. Now I will tell you the first. You can check the input. You can check my laptop. I will explain you some common errors that we make. Okay. Now I am clearing the output. Okay. Like now I will teach you some common errors. Yeah, this is a common error we will make. Why? It's a string, but you remember that the string should be always inside the quotation. So when we put the quotation, we will get the correct answer. This is a common mistake that every student make. So I'll tell you one thing: whenever you want to print text, always put it inside quotation marks. Now I will explain you the second error. Print. Yeah, this is second error. Here we forgot to closing the bracket. Okay, so now we close the bracket. We will get the correct answer. We will get the correct answer. Python reads the code from left to right. It expects a closing bracket but doesn't find one. So it report a syntax error. That is happened here. So the when we correct it, we can get the correct answer. So now I will explain you the third error. Okay. By this is a common mistake I am teaching you. So if you note down one by one in a notebook, so everyone I will inform that to take some pen and paper whenever you are watching my class. Okay. Now I will explain the third error that everyone will make. This is a third major error that every programmer makes. Now I am going to run the program. Did you find any error here? Yeah, that's a major error. The variables names cannot start with a number. Python has a naming rule that the variable names cannot start with a number. Okay, did you understand? One more time. Variable names cannot start with a number. Yeah, we can understand the error here. So now just understand that the variable names cannot start with a number. It's a major error. That's why I'm telling again and again. Okay, now I will give some advice to our coding students. Don't be afraid of errors. Errors help us learn. Okay, when don't take it as just as motivation. Just read the line again. Just I will give you one advice. Read the error message carefully. It usually tells you what where is the problem is. That's the same thing I want to tell you. If you get an error in the coding, just read the error message carefully. It usually tells you where the problem is. Okay. So now we can study another program. The question is find the area of a rectangle. Okay. So now I will type the program first. Then I will explain the line by line program. Okay. So you can understand. First, watch what I am typing. Okay. You know float means what? Decimal value. Okay. For finding area, first we want to write. You know that the length and breadth is needed to find the area. Length into breadth is the formula. Okay. Again float. So now here by the third line we can understand the formula to find area, length into breadth. Okay, to find the area of the rectangle, formula is area is equal to length into breadth. Now we can print area of rectangle. Okay. Okay, now we can enter the length, breadth, we can get the areas 12. Okay, 6 into 2, 12. So now the coding part is completed. We get the output as right. Our coding execution is successful. Now I will explain the code line by line. Okay, so you can understand. The first line you see here now. First line. First we need the length of the rectangle. Input asks the user to type a value. Whatever the user types is normally stored as a string text. Okay, but the length can have decimal values like 10.5 or 6.75. We use float to convert text into a decimal number. Okay, finally the value is stored in the variable called length. Okay, so here the first line, I hope you can understand. Now I will explain the second line. This works also exactly same like the previous line. Okay, now the user enters the breadth, it is converted into a float, then it is stored inside the variable breadth. Okay, so the second line is also explained. Now I will explain the third line. Here the formula is area is equal to length into breadth. Okay, everyone knows this formula. Now I will explain the fourth line. Print area of a rectangle. Okay, that line, that print you can see here now. Print displays the result on the screen. The text inside the codes is printed first, then Python prints the value stored in the variable area. Okay, so I hope you understand all of this. Okay, now I will explain you one more problem. I think it's a good problem that it will ask in exams like that. Swapping of two numbers. Swap two numbers. Okay, I will explain that. First, let me clear this code. Now, after that, I will explain. So, first, you just watch what I am typing. After that, I will explain the code line by line. Okay, just watch it carefully so you can understand. I will explain it after the execution. Just watch it carefully. Don't be bored, because if you watch carefully, you will understand. So it's a long code. So don't get bored. Just try to understand. After the execution, I will explain line by line so you can understand. So we can now run the program. First number as 4, second number as 8. So we can see before swapping it was a is equal to 4, b is equal to 8. After swapping it become reverse, a is equal to 8, b is equal to 4. So our coding part is finished. Now I will explain you line by line. Okay,
you can see the first line. Okay, the first number is entered by the user. It is converted to an integer, right? It is converted to an integer because you can see int, right? First, so it is converted into an integer. Then it is stored in a, right? So here also the variable name is a. Then step 2, you can see the second number is stored inside the variable b. So here the variable is b. And the step 3, print before swapping. I mean, before swapping we print the values before changing them. Okay, then step 4, temp is equal to a. I will explain. I know you didn't understand this step, but I will explain. Imagine you have two glasses, one contain milk, the other contain juice. Can we directly exchange them? No, we need one empty glass to exchange. That empty glass is called temp. Suppose a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. After, temp is equal to a. Okay, I know you understand this now. Step 5, a is equal to b. Now we copy the value of b into a. Okay. Then step 6, b is equal to temp. Now we copy the original value of a from temp into b. Okay. Now these all are the step. Now I just click the run and I entered the first number as 4. I entered the second number as 8. Then the before swapping, after swapping. I hope you understand this very well. Okay. Now I think, did you want to learn one more program? Yeah, yes, we can learn one more program. Really nicer for you and for me also. So I am just clearing this. So we can learn the third programming question. Okay, I hope you understand this very well. If you have any doubt, you can comment it on the post. Okay, I will answer you for each and every question. Okay, now we are going to do the third problem. Okay, we're going to do the third problem. Just look at what I am typing. Okay, and I will explain after the execution line by line. Enter student name, where the variable is m1. Okay, int means integer. Okay, I am just recalling this so you can remember. Enter marks in subject 1. So the second variable is input. Enter marks in subject 2. Now the third variable. Okay, now for total, we know there are three variables, so m1 plus m2 plus m3. And for the average, we know the formula is equal to total by how many variables we have? 3. So total by 3. Now just print just look at what I am coding. Afterwards, I will explain you so you can understand. Now just watch carefully. Print name total print average. So now we can run the program. It's getting run. Student name, but we can type the student name as Virat Kohli. Okay. Marks in subject. Kohli always say that he get less marks in maths, right? So 33. Subject to 55. Okay. Now we enter the name, subject, marks. Yeah, we can see the code as successful. Average we got is 47.66, right? Okay. Now I will explain line by line so you can understand. You see the first line. The program first asks for the student's name and stores it in a variable name. And step 2, the marks entered by the user are numbers, so we convert them to integers using int. So it's same done in the case of m2 and m3 variable. Okay, so the seventh line you see here. Now Python add all three subject marks. The result is stored in the variable total, right? Then step 4, we are finding the average. To find the average, we divide the total marks by the number of subject. For average, the formula is total marks divided by number of subject. Okay. And the fifth line, we can see the print. This line, ninth line. It moves the cursor to the next line before printing the heading. And the next line, print name total average. With these three lines, finally we display all the calculated information in a neat format. So that's it. I hope you understand this programming part. It's so just practice it more. Okay. Okay. Before we end today's class, let's quickly revise what we learned today. Okay. First we understand that what is Python and why it is one of the most popular programming language. Then we learned about how to write our first Python programming using print. Okay. Once again, I am telling. Then we learned about how to write our first Python programming. Okay. After that, we discussed variables and how they store data. Next, we learned about data types such as integer, float, string, and boolean. Then we also learned how to take input from the user using input and why we use integer and float to convert input into numbers. Then we practiced by writing programs like finding the area of rectangle, swapping numbers, and creating a simple student mark sheet. The main goal of the today's class was to understand the basics of the Python and become comfortable writing simple programs. For homework, practice all the programs we wrote today at least 2 3 times. Practice from the home. Try changing the input values and observe how the output changes. Okay. Once again, I am telling, for homework, practice all the programs we wrote today at least 2 3 times. Okay. Then try changing the input values and observe how the output changes. Okay. Now, in our next class, we will learn about operators, expressions, and decision making using if else, nested if statement. Okay. If else, and nested if statement. Our next class, it will be about that. Okay. So just try to learn something about if else, and nested if. No problem if you don't learn anything also. I will teach from the basic itself. Okay. So that's it. Thank you everyone for attending today's class. If you have any question, just you are free to ask to me. See you in the next class. Have a great day. Thank you.